Good morning everybody, Chris from the Headache and Pain Management Centre here for your Wednesday morning. Thought I would come out into our car park here and get some outdoor air. And today we're talking about something that's really common that comes up in conversations with patients and online as well. It's about getting tight shoulders, rock hard upper traps, office workers' neck. We've got all these sorts of names that this can be called, but basically having really tight in through here and in through here and just not being able to shrug it out and get it loosened up. So I thought I'd share a couple of things, three things actually, as to the reasons why they might be the case, why those shoulders might be really, really tight. So the first one, and this is the really common one, okay, the first one is it's a lack of strength in the muscles around your neck and in your shoulders. That's the most common one. So often when you've got really tight shoulders in through here, one mistake that can be made is that you're doing too much or you're overusing your upper traps to do a lot of the work. But in actual fact, what we've shown is in research recently is it's actually more the muscles that aren't being used. So you actually need some more strength in your upper traps, but also the muscles that help to assist your shoulder out. So, you know, your rotator cuff around your shoulder, the lower traps going in between your shoulder blades, and the ones that wrap around your chest as well. So quite often when you're getting a lot of tightness through those muscles, it's actually more fatigue rather than overuse. So if a muscle's fatigued and you're doing a lot of things with it, and you haven't got the strength to be able to hold a position like sitting for a very long time, you need to get more strength into those muscles first to get that all going. So that's the first one. The second one, which is also quite common that we see a lot, is actually a lack of movement in the joints of the neck. Okay, so often when you get tight in through the shoulders, it's because you're not able to turn fully around over your shoulder like I am at the moment. So sometimes what can happen is that you've got a little bit of restriction, so you can only turn to say here instead of there, or even worse than that, and particularly if you've got stiffness on one side. What you'll find is that the side that's tight, you'll feel stiff in the shoulder coming down in towards that side. That's actually due to a muscle called levator scapulae, which attaches the top of the neck in through here, down into the shoulder blade, just in behind there. And quite often it feels like you want to get an ice cream scoop, or you just want to rip that muscle out, like it's just really tight, you rub it really hard, and no matter what you do, you just can't get the relief from it. So quite often that's actually from a lack of movement in the joints in the top of the neck, which is causing that to happen. So that's the second one. So basically you've got the first one, which is a lack of strength overall around the muscles of your neck and your shoulders. And secondly, it's a lack of movement around the neck joints themselves. The third one is actually one that gets missed quite a lot in the treatment of sort of tight shoulders, tight neck. And the third one is not what you expect. It's actually from a lot of stress. Okay, now often you hear doctors and you hear people go, well, it's because you're stressed. Okay, and you go, Captain Obvious. But it's actually what happens when you're stressed that causes this to happen. So when you're stressed, you actually don't breathe as well, believe it or not. Okay, so you're not actually taking big, deep breaths in. You're not using the whole sort of in through your chest, down through here. You're not using the whole lung to actually breathe. You're only using the upper lobes to breathe. Okay, so if you have a look at my neck here, if I take a shallow breath, you see that basically all my neck muscles, they kind of go, they get spasmed up. They go, see that? They all tense up, right? Whereas if I take a big deep breath in, what happens is it doesn't tighten up in through your neck until you actually take a massive breath, like right at the end of the breath. So I'll do that for you now. Watch this. Okay, so there's muscles there. So I'm going to take a long, shallow breath in. Okay, here we go. And you see there, it's not until the end of the breathing that the muscles around the neck will start to tense up. Now, one thing that people don't recognise quite often is the deep muscles of your neck. So in through sort of this area here. So there's three muscles called your anterior, your middle, and your posterior scalene muscles, okay? Those muscles connect into the sides of your neck. So at one end it connects into your neck, and the other end it connects into the top rib, okay? So the first and second rib. So those muscles actually act to get more breathing, to get more oxygen into your lungs when you're taking a deep breath in. But what we now know is that when you're stressed, you don't actually breathe as well. You actually don't take deep breaths in. This is why things like meditation, breathing exercise, exercises are really, really important for anyone with neck pain and chronic pain, with any pain in particular, because it changes your blood gases. But when you've got neck pain where it's really, really tight, often a really good thing to do is just to lie down on your back and take some really deep breaths in, nice and slow. Obviously, you don't want to hyperventilate. You just want to take some slow, long, deep breaths in to get those chest walls opening, to get those muscles around the bottom of your chest working, so that it takes the stress and takes the tone out of these muscles here. So using different muscles to breathe. It's actually the world's easiest exercise to do because everyone knows how to breathe. You just need to do it in a way where you're actually getting the lungs involved. So right down the bottom in towards your lower lobes to get that all happening. So there are your three things. Okay, so the first one is lack of strength. So actually getting stronger around your upper traps, your lower traps, just around the shoulders and neck in general is really good for you. The second one is getting the muscles and the joints of your neck moving nicer. Okay, the joints in particular, getting them moving more freely around the neck. So even just getting some turning and then giving some movement like that can help things out a little bit. And the third one is actually getting some deep breaths, okay? Some deep breathing, getting those muscles down lower towards the bottom of your chest wall working and taking the stress and strain off these scalene muscles at the top of your neck. I hope that's been really helpful. If you've got anyone who has this sort of issue happening, type in and tag below because it'll really help them. Like and share, obviously, like you always do. It's good to see you there. I'm just seeing someone log in to have a look at what we're talking about. And naturally, if there's any questions, just type in underneath and I'm happy to answer those for you. Hope that's been helpful, and I'll see you again on Friday for another Facebook video. Cheers, bye for now.